marketing yourself are crucial, and a gym selfie does not count. Although gym selfies are great to show your audience on whatever social media platform you're using that you're actively in the gym and doing fun things, a gym selfie is not a marketable nor usable photo for a company potentially interested in using you. Technology is great these days, and iPhones do have amazing cameras. However, that is not going to be the same quality of photo that a company would need for any sort of marketing or print image. Fitness photographers can charge anywhere from a couple $100s to upwards of $10,000 a day. It all depends on the quality, experience, and audience of that photographer. So you do get what you pay for. While you may be paying your photographer, you are paying them for a finished work of art. You are not paying them to do what your friend would do and just take a ton of photos of you at the gym. You're paying them to set up lighting, you're paying them to find an angle, you're paying them to capture you at your absolute best, and then most importantly, you're paying them to edit you and make sure that any little areas of your body that might need a little bit of touching up and the little bit of lighting that needs to be adjusted is done so properly. So when a photographer quotes you, it's important to know how many edits you're getting into. You may only have 2 edits included with your photo shoot, or you may have 15. Your outfit in which you shoot in is crucial. It's important to remember that you want your outfit to show off your body without detracting from your body. If you are working for a certain apparel line, it is totally fine if the outfit kind of demands the attention because that's what you're marketing, the outfit. But if you are taking images just to kind of have stock photos of yourself to send out as promotional items or to send potentially to magazines and companies interested in working with you, you want your clothing to not detract from all of the hard work you've put in, which is your body. Hiring a makeup artist is crucial. Hiring a hairstylist is person dependent. It is also important to remember that you will need tanning and potentially nails done. This is more for the ladies on the nails and makeup and hair. But everyone needs to have a good even tan base, so even if you think you're really dark, chances are by fitness industry standards you still need a tan. And even if you are naturally a tan person, you're gonna still want to spray tan to even out any little issues so the photographer doesn't have to work as hard. They will appreciate your professionalism. Having makeup done is the same thing. Even if you do your makeup every day, the level of detail that a photographer is looking to have, it's just going to be much better to have someone who can help you bring a flawless complexion and a flawless look to your photographer's stage. They're going to be much more willing to work with you if you've put in the work to bring a perfect package. When selecting your outfit for your photo shoot, it's important to remember that you are marketing yourself or if you are marketing a company. If you are sponsored or working with a certain company and you want to provide them with images for them to use, then by all means wear a ton of logos, rep their gear out as much as possible. However, if you are taking photos to market yourself, remember to keep logos simple or minimal and only include companies with which you would potentially like to have a relationship with in the future. Getting discounts with a photographer can come from a few different ways. You can shoot consistently with a photographer and develop a relationship with them and see if they offer a set amount of discounts per shoots, or once you've kind of built up a consistent relationship with them, that may be something they'll offer you. You could follow and like and stay tuned to a certain photographer's social media, and pay attention to when they offer seasonal or certain event deals. And you could always just try the direct approach, say, hey, I really like your work. I know that I've inquired about your rates. Currently that's out of my price range. Do you ever offer mini shoots? Do you ever offer discounts? Do you ever offer, if I book with a friend that I get an extra hour? And see if they'll potentially work with you. They may take payments or installments. They may be willing to bend or flex a little bit, or let you know, hey, I'm gonna offer a summer special. So these are things that you can always try. Location for your photo shoot depends entirely on what you want to get out of your photo shoot. Do you just want photos of you doing cool stuff? Then yeah, go to the gym or go outdoors. Do you want marketable images that you can use in magazines and print? Then maybe you need to be in the studio. Look at what you're trying to get out of the photos and what your objective and goal is with them, and pick a location to suit that. I've had photos taken in a studio in someone's house that came out phenomenal and ended up in magazines, and I've had photos taken at a phenomenal location that unfortunately the lighting or the timing wasn't just right and they didn't come out how I wanted. So I would say that location is definitely secondary to the light, the photographer's skill, and how your body looks. A lot of people get photos and think, oh cool, I paid for these photos, they're all of me and they're mine. That's not exactly how it works. When a photographer takes photos of you, you generally sign a release form saying that they have all rights to utilize them how they want to, or to use your image or likeness while in self-promotion. And this is an important document to read and understand, and even ask your photographer what they have planned for your images. When you take these photos, you will probably get a certain number of edits or a certain number of images that you can use. You do not actually own all of the photos. That is the photographer's work. They are the person who is doing the work and doing the art. You just get to be the piece of art that gets photographed. So it's important to establish before you spend money on a shoot and before you show up to a shoot on what your boundaries are and what's your ability to use the photos. It's very common in the fitness industry, especially, that photographers will allow you to use the photos you've purchased for social media, for your own website, for your own personal promotion. However, that doesn't mean that you can give those photos to anyone else. So just because you get to use the photos, it does not mean a company that is sponsoring you or even your friends can share these photos. So that is the photographer's discretion, and it's something important to remember, because I remember being shocked when I would pay for photos and I would get the photos and I would, out of courtesy, ask if I could send the photos into a magazine or to a company that I worked with, and find out that that company would have to purchase those photos. And then all of a sudden I had spent a bunch of money on photos I could only use on social media, and they were worthless to me, because while social media promotion is great, you don't want to spend a lot of money on photos that you cannot send in to submit to magazines, or you cannot give to a company that you're working with to deepen your relationship and allow that company to promote you. So it's very important to figure out what your objective is with the photos and what the rates and usage will be before you pick a certain photographer. Hey, that's great. You just did a photo shoot and your photographer got back to you with a courtesy in allowing you to see all of your photos. They have probably provided you with a Dropbox or a private website link, and it's going to give you, every single photo you took, or maybe all of their favorites. So you could get every single photo, all the ones with the eyes shut and the arms funky, everything. That's going to be a great tutorial for you to look at how to pose yourself better, what worked for you, what didn't. Or they may have just selected all of the images that they felt were usable and given you a link to view those. That's also great. You're still gonna see where you looked best, where you didn't, what you liked, what you didn't. That does not mean you can post these photos. These photos are the photographer's property, and it would be extremely rude to take that property and post it unedited and unfinished. That would be like, I don't know, giving someone that's a painter a canvas and letting them paint it halfway and then just taking it and hanging it, and they're like, wait, I'm not done. You know, the photography is only a part of the work. They spend thousands and thousands of dollars on, you know, programs that will help them edit your photo. They may spend 10 minutes, they may spend 2 hours, they may spend even more than 2 hours editing your photo. A final photo may be a compilation of several photos. It may be layers of different photos. It may be a process that's been through 3 different editors. It could go originally to one person to have the lighting fixed. It could go to a graphic design person to have, you know, things altered and changed, and then the photographer may once over and finish every little thing themselves because they want to have final eyes on it. So realize that when you see the original photos and they say proof on it, not only is it not your property to share, but it's just a piece of the work in progress, and it would be extremely rude to take that and put that out in there for the world to see without permission. Now, some photographers may say, hey, if it looks great, post it. Just make sure people know it's not edited, and that's fine. But make sure you have that communication with your photographer before you ruin your relationship with them. Choosing a photographer is such a hard thing to do. I remember getting into the fitness industry and thinking the more money I spent on a photographer, the better photos I was going to have. And while that may be true to some extent, there is only so much money can buy. So there are some phenomenal photographers out there that are a much more affordable rate than some of the most high-priced photographers. It all depends on your taste and your goals for your photos. If you like a certain magazine or you have a certain image styling in mind, look at that magazine and see which photographers are being consistently published in that magazine. If you want to work for a certain company, maybe see who is taking the photos that that company is using to promote them. If you want to, submit an article, but you don't know what kind of photos you need, it's better to go simple. Go with simple colors in your clothes. Go with a studio photographer. Go with, a local photographer. That's completely fine to start with some more basic images, but you need to make sure that the background is clean, the lighting is good, and that the photographer has experience in what you're trying to do. It's very important to remember wedding and baby photography is a completely different style than fitness photography, and you need to make sure that your photographer is either experienced in fitness photography and what you're trying to capture, or is offering you a deep discount for doing something that they're not familiar with. Nice cameras are great, and that is a phenomenal start to getting a good photo. However, it's important to remember that the camera, as expensive or as cheap as it may be, is only one step in the final product. One of my favorite photographers literally had a point and shoot camera that she had bought at Walmart for less than $100, and yet to this day in fitness photography, having shot with probably at least 50 photographers, she still has captured some of my favorite images. Since then, she's definitely upgraded, and I think she now has, a Canon 5D or, something very nice and respectable in the fitness photography industry. However, the camera is only one part of the step. You need a photographer who understands lighting. You need a photographer who understands your objective. You need a photographer with whom you have a relationship with and you can communicate with about what your goal is for each angle and each photo. And so if someone has a nice camera, that may be a good start, but see if they're comfortable or if they can capture images similar to what you're going for. Otherwise, you may find that you spend time on tan, hair, nails, makeup, and photo shoot clothing, and you're still disappointed with the outcome of the photos. I would say the most important thing with photo shoots is to know your goal with each photo shoot. Don't just go in there and say, hey, I'm in shape and my makeup's done, make me look pretty. Because you may find that a photographer will capture you how they see you, and they will capture you in the best lighting that they see. But what they see in you and when they look at you may be a different goal than the image you had in mind. So it's very important to have communication with your photographer about what look you're trying to achieve and about the tone that you want set. So make sure that you pick someone that can have a conversation with you regarding what your objective is with your photos. Good luck.